What's up guys, welcome back to Deck Tech for Decks. Today we're taking that Bant Precon and we are putting 27 cards in and taking 27 cards out on an extreme budget. If you guys want to support the channel, you can click on that whatnot link in the description down below. You'll get a free $15 whenever you sign up, maybe to purchase some of these cards in the Precon upgrade, and you'll be supporting the channel. Additionally, I'd like to shout out my high contributing patrons, Newsome and Irrelevant. You guys rock. Now let's get into this Bant Precon. Let's talk about the face commander. We have a bunny, right? And this bunny is kind of like a group hug commander, and she's going to be perfect in the 99 because we are building Mr. Foxgloves. I love Mr. Foxgloves here. I think it's going to be a powerful clone strategy because what's going to happen is we can copy him with something like a Spark Double or Irenicus's Vial Duplication. That way we get a non-legendary token copy of him. And then whenever we attack, we get two triggers. The first one's going to draw us cards equal to the amount of cards in our opponent's hand. And then the second one is going to actually enable us to cheat a giant creature into play. So we're playing Bant Giant Creatures. And then I also noticed there's a theme in the deck of creatures wanting us to draw a ton of cards. We are already on Chasm Skulker and even Psychosis Crawler, so I went heavily into that strategy using Foxgloves as our commander. So I did go ahead and throw away. We can draw our entire deck in this Precon, so if you want to see how we do that, stay till the end of the video. Additionally, I don't want to take the opportunity of you guys that love, your group hug decks away, so if we get this video to 700 likes, I will go ahead and flesh out a group hug deck, non-budget, just for you guys. Now, let's get into this Precon upgrade. Let's kick it off by talking about the giant creatures we're trying to cheat into play. Bonnie Paul seemed pretty solid here. Just enters the battlefield, you get a giant ox, and then you're going to get to draw a card and put additional lands into play whenever she attacks. Nykthos Paragon, also pretty solid here. Mr. Foxgloves does have lifelink, and then additionally, there's other ways to gain a lot of life in the deck, so just being able to buff our entire board state equal to the amount of life we gain is pretty impactful. Sphinx of Revelations, again, more life gain and more card draw. This thing's a pretty big flyer and can draw us a ton of cards. Drogskull Reaver is an even bigger flyer that's going to draw us even more cards. This thing has double strike, so the card draw is going to be insane, especially once we start shoving 1/1 counters on this thing. Sarah's Avatar, this thing's just massive. Sarah's Avatar's power and toughness is each equal to your life total, so it's not hard to see us one-shotting our opponents with this thing. Angel of Serenity and Terestodon are just going to be solid removal in the deck. Not only do we get some giant creatures, but additionally we get to remove some of our opponent's key permanents. Spark Double and Irenicus's Vial Duplication are really good at copying our commander and really any of our other giant creatures. This is kind of the key strategy of the deck, right though? We attack with our commander, we get the card advantage, then the clone copy of our commander triggers, and we get to cheat something into play. Now, the commander is a pretty big part of this strategy, so I wanted to add more protection pieces. So Shielding Flax, Canopy Cover, and Shalai Voice of Plenty are going to be solid just to ensure that our giant creatures and our commander are well protected. I also want to be able to hardcast some of these bombs just in case our commander keeps getting removed. So Nature's Lore, Rampant Growth, Secure Tribuilder, and Kodama's Reach to add up the ramp a little bit, and then we are going to add Elvish Mystic and Avacyn's Pilgrim as well. Inga and Nasika are also going to be welcomed in this deck, just giving our creatures vigilance and the ability to tap for mana and draw more cards is just going to be amazing in this strategy. Alondra Skydreamer is also going to be amazing here. We can create 2/2 Drakes that are going to get massive, and then additionally, it's pretty easy to draw 2 cards on our opponent's turn with all of the effects and abilities that are also in the deck that allow us to draw cards on our opponent's turn. So creating a pretty decent sized board of Drakes is going to be very easy. Not to mention, we can make those Drakes massive and deal some insane damage to our opponents. Kaidel, Chosen of Krufix, pretty simple. This thing just taps equal to the amount of cards we've drawn this turn, and we're drawing a lot of cards. Windfall is solid tech here as well. Not only are we going to get to draw a fresh new hand, but additionally, it's going to make it to where everybody has the exact same amount of cards in their hand. So now Mr. Foxglove can easily cheat our big creatures in our hand into play. Teferi's Ageless Insight, now whenever we draw 1 card, it says, hey, go ahead and draw 2 instead. Notably, this is going to be amazing with Alondra Skydance. But let's get into how we can draw our entire deck. This involves Greater Good and Ominous Seas. Now, Ominous Seas says, hey, whenever you draw a card, you get to put a foreshadow counter on Ominous Seas. Then you can remove 8 foreshadow counters and create an 8/8 Kraken. Greater Good simply says, sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to that creature's power, and then discard 3 cards. So we can easily sacrifice the 8/8 octopus or kraken we just created, and then draw 8 cards, and that's going to put 8 more foreshadow counters on Ominous Sea, allowing us to create another 8/8, and then we can sacrifice it, and that's going to generate a loop. Now, notably, that doesn't win the game, so I would wait to fire this off until we have something like a Psychosis Crawler on the battlefield, or some sort of other payoff. That way you just don't deck yourself and lose the game outright. Smuggler's Share is also going to be amazing in this deck. There's a plethora of cards in the deck that allow us to draw cards on our opponent's turn, but some of those cards actually allow our opponents to draw also. So now we can get added advantage from that because Smuggler Share is going to trigger whenever they're drawing additional cards on their turn. Last but not least, we're adding Austere Command to the deck for some solid removal. If you guys love this Precon upgrade, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, if we get this to 700 likes, I will build a non-budget version of the group hug version of this deck. With that being said, I hope this helped you in your deck building endeavors. I would like to shout out my patrons, Newsome, Excessum, Irrelevant, Chicken Salad, Creator. You guys are all amazing.